Hi, this is Sherry, and I have the honor of having Bill Murphy, who is the founder of GATA, and he is the one who's been instrumental in getting the manipulation of gold and silver out to the public, and even major financial press is now referring to GATA as being the leaders of the information of the central bank manipulation of gold. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Sherry. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. Um, you have you have your own website which people can follow you, Le Metropole Cafe, correct?
Yep, LaMetropoleCafe.com. Yep, people can, if they like what they hear today, can sign up for a 2 week free trial and see if it's of value.
Okay, and I do have I'm not able to hear you all that well. Let me turn this up because I want to make sure people are able to hear you clearly.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that's much better. Okay, with the information with all right, let's talk about Germany first. I mean, it's absolutely hilarious that it's going to take till 2020 for Germany to get half their gold back. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, you're right. It's ridiculous. And we don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but years ago, James Turk, I think 2001 maybe, said that he had a bunch of numbers he picked up where he thought that Germany switched gold with the United States at West Point. It's like 1,700 tons. Because in the United States, you can't sell gold without an act of Congress. But we could swap gold with Germany and sell their gold to suppress the market. Well, now, all of a sudden, with things, maybe being a little strained behind the scenes, you don't know, Germany wants their gold back, and maybe we can't give it to them back. Or we have to go get it, or get it out of mines. So this thing they did with over 7 years to get 300 tons of gold back doesn't make any sense unless something else is really going on. So maybe they're finally, in the bankers' way of doing things, saying, look, we want our gold back. We're going to put this out in the public domain. Start getting us our gold back, or there'll be other consequences. And it's quite interesting, actually.
Don't you think this is starting the ball rolling? Because I believe Netherlands have since said they're looking at getting their gold back too.
Well, you know your stuff. And yes, God has long since said that the central banks don't have anywhere near the gold they have. All of them, the Western central banks, they have lent it out to bullion banks to suppress the price or for other reasons. And instead of 32,000 tons, they might have 12,000 tons left in all of the central bank vaults in the West.
Yeah, okay. And now with that, with Netherlands, are you thinking, or from any of your sources, that other countries are going to start saying, 7 years is a little bit too long, and they're going to start maybe stepping forward? We know Venezuela, Hugo Chavez had repatriated his gold in last year or 2 years ago, started that. Do you think other countries are going to start saying, I think we need to try to get our gold back?
Well, it wouldn't surprise anybody in the Gata camp to see that. Nobody really knows what gold is where anymore, how much it's been same gold sold over and over again in these unallocated accounts, and it could be quite something down the road. And these things start by some kind of tipping point event, maybe like Germany, and then it begins to feed on itself. So we'll have to see how it plays out.
Now, with J.P. Morgan, the Judge Patterson had dismissed the J.P. Morgan class action suit, and there's been rumors that it's going to be refiled. What do you think about that, or what are your sources, or do you know anything of that rumor?
Yes, I do, actually. Andrew McGuire, who is the whistleblower for us at a CFTC hearing almost 3 years ago now, has been helping the legal counsel that didn't quite make the right points when they submitted in the first place. So it has been resubmitted, and the judge will have to make a ruling whether to let it go forward, at least at partial discovery. And if that's the case, all heck could break loose because J.P. Morgan doesn't want any discovery into what they're doing.
Exactly. Now, J.P. Morgan has those 38,000 shorts on the silver Comex. And my question about that is, okay, let me go back. uh, you did an awesome debate, the Great Gold debate with Jeff Christian of CPM Group. And I don't know if you know it, but last month on the 14th of December, he said he was on BNN and said there's absolutely weak demand for silver. There's an oversupply, and he thinks the price of silver is going to spiral downhill, and because there's no demand. And yet we know the U.S. Mint had sold, I believe it's 7.4 million Eagles in the month of January, and they even had to hold off on selling that. Do you think with J.P. Morgan having all these shorts that if there is a default, um, and we know MF Global, the whole everybody's gold and silver was taken by J.P. Morgan once they defaulted, nothing ever happened. What do you think would happen, or do you think a default will happen, could happen on the Comex? And what do you think would be the end result of that?
Well, there's a bunch of things here. In terms of the situation in silver, I think it's explosive. I mean, not only did the U.S. stop selling silver coins, but Canada erased selling silver coins. And in addition, my sources all tell me the silver market is extremely tight. There are premiums in various markets. Scrap is in short supply. Bags of silver coins are hard to find. I'm told it's hard to buy in size. And I believe you're setting up to an absolute explosion that is going to lead to defaults this year or maybe at the latest next year. And I think the price of silver in doing it, it's way, way, way too cheap. And I think you're going to see all-time highs this year. And contrary to Mr. Christian, and the price is going to be streaking towards $100 an ounce. They have right recently the price is going up, down, up, down, up, down. It's very, very volatile. And that usually means a change in direction. And we've had a big correction. We now have a big base in silver where the price has gone sideways. Now it's starting to go up and down violently. J.P. Morgan and friends are trying to keep the price down. But the physical market's so strong, it wants to go up. So it should be just a matter of time here before it begins to explode.
Well, with that, that's what with the amount of we've seen the prices just collapse when it's amazing last year how in just moments a whole year's worth of silver mining will be dumped on the market, and yet and that will just make silver completely go down to the downside. Yet here we have this month, January, where just the U.S. Mint alone sold 7.4 million ounces, and it doesn't seem to be affecting the price of silver on the Comex. Why is that?
That's a good question. This is where the paper trading comes in and so on. And we believe that Morgan, through the various ways, perhaps through the ETFs that they have in which they're custodian, SLV, that they're borrowing silver from that entity and dumping it into the market and then getting it back. I just think that they're going to be hitting the wall pretty soon. The above ground inventories of silver are gone. They're just not there anymore. And I think they're overplaying their hand, and they're going to be in trouble. And I think there's going to be other things that are going to surface in the next couple of months, which I can't get into, which is going to make life difficult for J.P. Morgan. And this has just gone on far too long. And I'm looking for once silver gets above like $35 an ounce, we get a couple closes above that, it's going to start to just explode, and you're going to see some fireworks.
Now let's go on the we're going to do a part 2 of the interview. So bear with me one moment, Bill, and I'll be right back. Thank you.
Okay, sure.